If you love me, please don't judge me. Got my hands tied, the power's above me. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just a puppet here. If you wanna place blame, then look to the puppeteer. Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy, secret, sabotage, borderline, felony, suicide, subtract, selfish, pedigree, yeah.
Alright, we have finally reached it. We are at Talladega weekend. The Talladega weekend review. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the races that happened this week at Dega and for company. So first off, the Xfinity race. Well, the Xfinity race, it was pretty tamed. There was not a whole lot that happened. We had a bit of a freight train. We had some two-wide racing. The big one never really happened. Well, we never got in a position for the big one to happen. And there was, of course, weather in the area and everyone racing hard. But in the end, Jeb Burton, when he would get to the lead and stay there, right as there was a wreck happening, and Jeb Burton, that wreck that happened near the end, that wreck would end up causing the rain to come. And then they bring the cars down pit road, and yeah, the track was completely lost within minutes. And yeah, and due to the sunlight time and the fact that Talladega had no lights, NASCAR confirmed they would not have enough time to dry the track and go back racing. So with that, the race was then deemed official, and Jeb Burton gets his first career Xfinity win. So Jeb Burton is officially a winner in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So congrats to Jeb Burton, well deserved for him. I think it's a long time coming for him. And he even did some burnouts on the wet track. Hey, at least he still got to do a burnout still. I'm happy for Jeb Burton to win. Honestly, I kind of wish it was on the track, though, and under green flag and not this way. But hey, you know, at the end of the day, a win's a win. So hey, congrats to Jeb Burton on getting his first career win. And with that, Jeb is going to be officially locked into the Xfinity chase. Well, Colwick's winning streak on super speedways or dominance at Talladega in general stays alive, just not with Justin Haley, a different source for once. Interesting. Next up to the Indycar race. Indycar race in St. Petersburg. Really, this race, it was a pretty tamed St. Petersburg race. Like, there were a couple spins and a couple incidents, mainly the two spins with Jimmy Johnson and many others. But not a whole lot really happened in this race. It was a pretty quiet race. Race was mainly dominated by Colton Herta, and despite Joseph Newgarden's best efforts to try and pass him at the end, along with Pagenaud and Dixon's, it was still not enough to beat Colton Herta. And Colton Herta gets the win at St. Petersburg. So now Colton Herta put himself together quite a good, decent IndyCar career so far. That was fourth career win. And wins on the streets of St. Petersburg. And I believe with this win, Colton Herta moves from 22nd in points to 4th. So within one race, Colton Herta moves up 18 spots in points. Well, that's early in the season IndyCar points for you. And of course, IndyCar is going to be back in next week with the doubleheader at Texas. Or Texas. Oh god, anything but that shitty ass track. Fuck. But in terms of IndyCar silly season, there is one thing we can't confirm so far already. Will Power will be staying at Penske Racing for the foreseeable future, as he has signed a multi-year extension with Penske Racing to continue driving the 12 car. And odds are it's been hinted that this could potentially be the final contract that Power signs in his IndyCar career. So it looks like Will Power will finish the remainder of his IndyCar days with Penske Racing for the next couple years. Maybe Power can add one more championship before he hangs up the helmet for good. And of course, next week, Trucks will be back at Kansas. And Xfinity's off till Darlington for Throwback Week. And of course, F1 will be back next Sunday in Portugal. So yeah, we got a lot of racing to go through next week, especially with the IndyCar doubleheader at Texas. Honestly, let's be real, Texas is a fucking shitty track. Both those races are probably gonna suck ass. Like, one's gonna be at night and the other's gonna be in the evening. Anyway, the Cup race at Talladega. Well, here we are, the Cup race. Well, stage 1, it was actually pretty eventful too. We had a lot of different leaders, some comers and goers. Really wasn't a fright training. Man, we had two wide for most of it. And of course, stage 1 ends under caution, mainly after Denny Hamlin makes contact with Joey Logano, and then Joey Logano goes up and over and flips. So yeah, this is not a second time Logano's flipped in his career. Of course, Logano flipped at Dover in 2009, his rookie year. And both of Logano's flips have taken part in an orange car. Coincidence? I think not. And then you have Bubba Wallace also bent his front window, one of the window mounts bent down from Bubba's windshield making contact with Logano's rear end when Logano landed on the track. And Briscoe got some damage too, along with Keselowski. But yeah, we had a blowover, and that's kind of a weird blowover for sure. So yeah, and of course the stage ends under caution with Matt DiBenedetto winning the stage. So we have some weird stage winners, okay. And in fact, before we continue on, we have some exclusive audio from Joey Logano as he was flipping at Talladega.
He's airborne!
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
Yep, you can thank good old Uncle C-Rad to get you those exclusives. But anyway, back to the race. Stage 2, it was pretty much like stage 1. You had some comers and goers. You had not really much of a fright train. We were starting to get a fright train near midway through the stage until after the pit stops. And then after the pit cycle, we started to get some good race in there. And of course, the stage ends with Hamlin, who was caught a lap down after Hamlin got caught speeding twice in one go, with Hamlin being too fast entering on his first pit stop. And yeah, they showed the speed. He was well too fast. And then Denny Hamlin got busted for being too fast entering again while serving his penalty. So then Hamlin had to serve it again, and Hamlin would fall a lap down. And then Denny Hamlin would end up getting turned by Truex in the tri-oval, coming to the white flag of stage 2. And then while that all happens, all three Hendrick cars left in the race, Byron, Bowman, and Chase Elliott all get together and spin out too. But both Chase and Byron suffered minor damage, but Bowman had enough damage to where he ended up being done for the day. If anyone's wondering what happened to Larson, Larson's engine died like 7 laps into the race. Like, it overheated. So yeah, that's kind of weird how the engine just overheats like that. Hey, it's Dega. But of course, at the end of stage 2, with the stage under caution, that means that Bubba Wallace won a stage? Huh. Interesting. Bubba Wallace might actually fucking do something for once in his career. So Bubba Wallace has finally won a stage. At least now all those stupid-ass boomers can shut the fuck up about saying, oh, Bubba Smollett hasn't won anything in his career yet. Yeah, all you fucking Bubba haters can now shut the hell up. Let me be real. I have nothing against Bubba. I just can't stand his fan base. That's all. I'm happy for Bubba, but I still hate his fan base. In fact, and yeah, if anyone's wondering, the boomers lost their shit over it. They, of course, because, yeah, they're boomers. That's why. But hey, Bubba finally won a stage. At least now everyone, at least all those boomers can shut up about Bubba saying Bubba hasn't won anything. Because now Bubba has won a stage. And with that stage win, Bubba Wallace is officially better than Danica Patrick. Officially has more stage wins than Danica Patrick. In fact, let's take a live look at how the boomers are handling this right now. But yeah, anyway, back to the race. Stage 3, it was complete. It was pretty boring, stage 3. Not a whole lot happened. Like, stage 3, it was just mainly one giant-ass freight train, even after green flag pit stops, until we had a caution for Quinn Half blowing a tire. It's funny how NASCAR wants to deny Jennifer Jo Cobb, saying that she's not fit to run in the Cup Series, and yet you have people like Quinn Houff running in the Cup Series. Then again, are we really surprised by any of this shit? Because NASCAR's never been fucking consistent with anything. And the only time NASCAR ever changes shit is when someone gets badly injured or someone dies. Like I've said before. So yeah, we didn't get a late race restart. Well, we would actually get some interesting players at the front. Like we had Eric Jones get the lead late, and then DiBenedetto would fight for the lead back. And then when it looked like DiBenedetto had this race in the bag, and DiBenedetto was finally going to cruise to his first career win and get redemption for Talladega last year, Martin Truex Jr. then blows a rear tire. And then the tire falls off and goes right on the track, causing a debris caution. Honestly, I don't know why the hell Truex was still out there. Honestly, if Truex knew he had a tire down, and Truex knew damn well he wasn't gonna win, that honestly made no sense by Truex causing that. That was 100% Truex's fault. Truex should have come to pit road. I don't know why the hell he was told to stay out. Like, that was really a dumbass call to keep Truex out there. Either that or black flag his ass. Because he was nowhere close to minimum speed, and he wasn't even on the track. He was on the apron. Like, yeah, that was just a dumbass move by Truex to stay out. So anyway, with Truex's tire going on the track, we would then end up with overtime. And then in overtime, DiBenedetto would get a good restart, but he would get too far ahead of the field, which left him being a sitting duck as they were coming to the white flag. And on the white flag, Keselowski would get a big push from Michael McDowell. And Keselowski would get the lead there. And then despite best efforts from Michael McDowell and William Byron to try and get the lead from Keselowski, Brad Keselowski would show why he's one of the top plate racers in the Cup Series today. And he would hold off both of them at the end. And Keselowski would win the race as Eric Jones and Ross Chastain would tangle at the end and spin out and wreck. So yeah, really, so Keselowski gets the win, hits his 6th Talladega win, which ties him for second most Dega wins all time with Jeff Gordon and Dale Jr. And of course, this is coming on the day where 17 years ago Jeff Gordon beat Dale Jr. at Dega in 2004, and the fans threw beer cans at Gordon's car. Yeah, it kind of fit that it's been 17 years since Gordon won at Dega on that day and had beer cans thrown at him during the burnout. Yep, one thing we can say for sure, Dega is definitely Earnhardt country. So yeah, Keselowski gets the win, and with that, Keselowski is officially locked into the Cup chase. And also with this, it means that all 3 Penske cars are now guaranteed to be in the chase this year. Also with this, it probably more than likely means that Keselowski is going to be staying with Penske Racing for more than likely the remainder of Keselowski's career. In terms of the Cup Series silly season. Because really, Cup Series silly season, it mainly depends on what happens with Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman. Since one or both of them are both rumored to be retiring or hanging it up at the end of the year. I don't know, mainly what happened, I think silly season is going to be pretty tame, especially with the new car coming next year. The Gen 7. I think mainly silly season, it's going to depend on what happens with Kurt Busch and Newman if they retire or not. Those 2 retiring or not alone is going to decide what happens with silly season. Like, the only thing we know for sure is that DiBenedetto is a free agent and Cindric's taking the 21 next year. But yeah, really in terms of his Dega Cup race, it was a pretty tamed race. Like, the only wrecks we happened were at the end of the stages. Other than that, not a whole lot happened. It was pretty quiet and pretty tamed. It was a pretty tame Dega race unlike other races. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's Dega this year for you. I'm not sure if anybody knows. Actually, I'm not going to mention it because it would be inappropriate. But, yeah, someone put actually a public fleshlight in the Dega infield. For all those creepy, horny boomers in the fan base, to, have fun with. Because horny, that's why. Yep, what happens in the Dega infield stays in the Dega infield. Or it ends up on social media. Take your pick. But yeah, that's just Dega for you. See ya. That's another race at Dega. So next week, we got Kansas next week. Yay, Kansas. The track that has produced some good racing, but has a shitty package with it. So yep, we got Kansas next week. Let's see what happens at Kansas. Anyway, pretty tame weekend, pretty quiet weekend. And we got IndyCar and F1 next week, so we're going to have a lot more racing next week. But yeah. And actually, before I end this video off, I want to give a shout out to my good friends, Space Mel Ferrari 248 and Blazelife 334, who were both at the St. Petersburg IndyCar race in St. Petersburg. Shout out to both of them. Hope they both had fun at the race. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope everyone has a great day. And yeah, peace. NASCAR Heavyweight Champ out.